Money on my mind, gotta hustle and grind. Financial literacy always on my mind. I'm stacking knowledge, no time to waste. Gotta invest smart, gotta keep up the pace. I'm reading books, learning all the tricks, studying the market, making calculated picks.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Raidinaire, and we are back at it for another episode of Crypto Portfolio Updates. I'm excited. You should be excited, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. But before we get into that, I want to make sure you guys stop, take a second as you're coming in, as the premiere's starting, or if you're catching this later, as you're getting in here, don't forget to hit that like button. It is free support. And for those of you who have been here more than 2 times, I want to make sure, for sure, that you join the Wolfpack formally. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. And right next to that, there's one more ask that I got of you, and that's that you hit that bell notification and turn all on. Obviously, we are getting ready to embark next week on the weekly updates. As soon as I'm done recording this, I am going to finish out my monthly financials, and then we are going to have an action-packed week starting let me look at the dates, the 7th, where you're going to see me 6 days that week. That means we're going to have the update for the financials in general, just to see how the numbers turned out. Then we are also going to have the portfolio update, where we go into my TradFi portfolios and I give you a full breakdown, what we're doing, the moves that we're making, why we're sitting where we're at, and the performance thereof at the time of recording. That includes the infamous income portfolio. So we're going to be doing a lot of talk about Misty in that one, for those of you who are here for me and my Misty content. Also, we have our Debt Crusher episode, which is going to land on Saturday. That is going to be a conversation about the debt load that we are carrying. We started off with $35,000 in debt that we are actively working to barrel through, kind of showing people that, you know, us brokies out here, there is a path, there is a way to pay off some debt without necessarily selling off all of your assets and burning your opportunity cost therein. But let's go ahead and jump into it and get into this episode. First and foremost, let me get myself down into the micro corner over here. We're going to jump into it at time of recording, which is July 4th. Welcome to July, people. We're down to 25 months on the countdown. I tell you what, I will be retired / work optional before I hit $1 million in net worth. So help me, just to show you that it is possible. I'm going to do it. Bitcoin at time of recording is sitting at $105,841. Down a little bit. We're down 1.4%. People are already freaking out. All the content farmers out there that are shucking and jiving for the algorithm, giving you, I'd say, less honest advice, which seems to go further because they all have very large channels. But everybody's jumping on it, and, you know, it is what it is. We've been fluctuating within a range, and we're fluctuating within that range. I really don't. If it's down, and you're perceiving, I mean, if the sky's falling, leave the market. Like, bye. Bitcoin doesn't need you. You need Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance is sitting at 62.5%. Interesting. We are not moving. Ethereum dominance still sitting at 8.62%. Interesting. That's also not really moving much. Gas fees, which have moved since last week, are down at 0.816 Gwei. Some good transaction time for Ethereum. I'm really excited. I'm going to be doing my DeFi cash outs today, doing some conversion. We're going to be making some different moves with our crypto, which is going to be pretty interesting. I'm kind of excited about it. And yeah, moving on. Top 3 trending coins. Thank you and shout out to CoinGecko for this wealth of information. At number 1, we have Toncoin. At number 2, we have Notcoin. And at number 3, we have Lambo, because who doesn't like Lambos? Moving on, let's get to these top 5 gainers and losers in the last 24 hours because it looks like we got some interesting stuff going on here. Top 5 gainers is what we start off with every show. First and foremost, I hope you guys all get to experience a little bit of the warmth of being on this list. And let's get into it. At number 1, we have it ranked 84 TNQ with a gain of 491.6% in the last 24 hours. Got a little poppage there. I think the max that we've seen is a 10x. 4x is nice though. Shout out to anybody who was in on that pump. That's awesome. At number 2, we have at rank 370 Humanity with a gain of 45.6%. At number 3, we have at rank 885 Genius AI, and that has had a gain of 25.8% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have at rank 548 D-Bridge with a gain of 25.9%. This is actively live, so they're swapping, they're fighting it out right now. At 25.9% gain in the last 24 hours. And last but not least, at number 5, at rank 610, we have Game Build with a gain of 17.1%. Moving on to the top 5 losers. I hope you guys don't have to be on this list, or if you are on this list or a token that you are looking at is on this list, that it's a healthy entry point or a healthy pullback for you to continue your dollar cost average, because I hope that you're dollar cost averaging. At number 1, we have at rank 962. We have NIM with a loss of 29.9%. At number 2, we have at rank 395 Launch Coin on Believe with a loss of 20.1%. At number 3, we have at rank 560 Solana Name Service, previously known as Bonfida, with a loss of 14% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have it ranked 376 Chintai with a loss of 14.6%. And last but not least, with a loss at number 5 at rank 958, we have Bobo Coin with a loss of 14% even. Now we're gonna go ahead and open this up, move on over to the portfolio. Actually, I want to open up 2 of these portfolios because that needs to come back in. We're going to talk about that too. First and foremost, we got to give the numbers before we get over here. So far on the day, we are down 4%, which leads to a total downness of 23.7%. Just keeping it kosher out there. It is what it is. It isn't what it isn't. And this portfolio hasn't been good to look at for some time. So let's jump right on into it. Going through the top 10, we have at number 1, we have Solana, SOL. At number 2, we have Thorwallet DEX, TGT. At number 3, we have Ethereum, ETH. At number 4, we have Aave, AAVE. At number 5, we have Jupiter Perpetual Liquidity Provider Token, always a mouthful, JLP. At number 6, we have Superverse, SUPER. At number 7, we have Radium, RAY. At number 8, we have Injective, INJ. At number 9, we have Camelot Token, GRAIL. And last but not least, at 10, we have Akash Network, AKT. No real moves to be made. We still got some DeFi cash out to do, which is going to go on July's number. We won't have any DeFi factored in June because I just didn't get around to it. And letting the numbers run up a little bit more gives me a bigger payout, which is going to give me a bigger conversion, which is going to lead to other stuff happening that I'm here for. Outside of that, we're just letting stuff ride. The portfolio is the portfolio. Like, I have some really good wins in here, and then we also have some gobbledygook garbage plays. And fortunately, this is the reason that it is not the main portfolio or the maximization of my holdings. Most of my holdings is sitting in cold storage in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and where it will sit indefinitely. And yeah, you don't gamble with all your money. That's just what it is. But we're going to be sitting here looking at these positions probably for the rest of the bull run to see what's going to do what. And, you know, we made some adjustments on what we're doing with the income out of the dividend portfolio or out of the income portfolio. And what do? We've moved it over into Bitcoin, which we are on the day back in the Bitcoin standard portfolio. This is now something we can talk about again. We are down 1.5% because we are obviously buying it over 100,000. And total for the total so far, total profit loss for our Bitcoin standard portfolio is 40.5% in the profit. So we're going to go ahead and share this real quick. And as you can see, we've only made one buy. There's only $20 in here. There'll be another $20 and some more added because what I've decided to do is keep crypto funding crypto. And for right now, we're going to continue to fill this Bitcoin portfolio. We're buying over on Strike because they have Bitcoin leverage that's active. Obviously, we are a long haul away from that because they want you at minimum for the state that I live in, because Jack Mahler apparently said that it is based on the state, and I guess my state requires you to have 1.33 Bitcoin, which honestly is going to be impossible for most people, but I refuse to move any Bitcoin off cold storage that is in cold storage. So we're starting from scratch, and our target is 1.33 Bitcoin. That way we can start doing some leverage on that. We'll see how that works out. So at this juncture, that's kind of what that looks like. It'll be growing. We'll be adding to it. Hopefully, eventually we'll get into the green. We'll see what it looks like. But right now, there's $20 and some change in there, which is, can't complain. Can't complain. Moving on. So I'm going to come back to the screen real quick for a little bit. I want to tell you guys why I'm super excited about Bitcoin. I'm always super excited about Bitcoin. Why? Because it offers a way to opt out of the financial matrix. What is the financial matrix? Well, for a long time in America, which I can only attest to the country that I live in, but we've seen this happen over and over again in other places. There was an unsaid agreement with the boomers. It was, there was manufacturing jobs, there was all sorts of jobs, but then it morphed into, if you go to college, you get a degree, you're going to be all right. And what ended up happening was they just started rapidly debasing the currency. They made it so that to go to college, you had to take on unsurmountable amounts of debt that, depending on what your job is, you're never going to pay back. And while saddled with this debt and becoming a debt slave, like now you are a slave to the system because you can't get out of it. You have up to your eyeballs in debt as soon as you graduate. That's before you get a house. That's before you have a family. It's before you have any of the other life expense, before you get a car. And as this horribly built system that they continually debase, then we fast forward, all the generations behind them are subjugated to their reign because the boomers have yet to give up power. They're not transitioning wealth and they're not giving up power. So they keep voting to make themselves comfortable at the expense of all of the rest of us. And the reality of what's going on is pre-Bitcoin, there were very few options to get out. The one thing that I would say is we could at least afford houses. I'd say up until 2019, we could at least afford houses. That's when I bought my house, right at the edge. Like I knew something was up, and I knew my rent was going to go up, and I'd rather pay a mortgage than a excessively high rent that's going to keep going up. Then enters Bitcoin for me, which was around 2013 also. And there was a way to opt out of that system. And I think as more and more people get an understanding of what Bitcoin is and the opportunity that it is offering to everyone, unbiasedly, the more people are going to take that orange pill and opt out. Like, there's just, like, as much as I'll use the TradFi tools, I'll use any tool. I don't care. I am tool agnostic because to me, all of these things are tools. Your W-2 income, that is also a tool. It's a tool that I got to go manually crank, but there's also better tools. There's a lot of options out there within the TradFi space, but do I want to stay in the TradFi space? No, because I want as few dollars as possible. My dollars have to either be working or working hard. Now, my TradFi dollars are working. Dollars that I put in Bitcoin are working hard. And that's why I'm excited about the next couple of things we're going to talk about. So first and foremost, congratulations to MicroStrategy. They needed to come in to this quarter, which was started today, with Bitcoin over 95,000. They came in with Bitcoin at 107,000. Now, we've dropped down to 105 and everybody's throwing the FUD out. They're trying to scare you out of the market. They're trying to get you to give up your coins. They're trying to explain to you why the price fluctuates and goes down. Price manipulation, blah, 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 blah. Because, and the reason I say that and the reason I think it's stupid and the reason I know it's just engagement farming and clickbaiting because these channels make more money from their channels and their subscribers than they actually have in the markets because they don't show their portfolios. And they don't even talk about their portfolios. Like, we don't know what their positions are. They just talk about stuff, which they're a lot of times paid to talk about. But as we're going through these dips, it's like we're still above 95,000. Well above 95,000. So what does that mean? That means MicroStrategy qualifies to get put into the S&P 500. For the end of the day, heard word before market close that they got added to the Russell 2000. Awesome. More liquidity, more money. Bitcoin is infiltrating and infecting every facet of our financial system. Why? Because it's actually worth something. A Bitcoin treasury is worth something. They have Bitcoin. They are de-dollarized. They're in a hard asset. There's something that's pegged to something. One Bitcoin's always worth one Bitcoin. That's the peg for Bitcoin. We're going through a financial depression. We are in the greatest depression we've ever been in. And most of these people who don't understand how money works go, oh, well, I see the number going up. Well, yeah, the stock market is going up if you denominate it in dollars. If you denominate it in any actual hard asset, it's not going up. It's down 100% against Bitcoin. I don't know how down it is against gold, but gold would probably paint another harrowing picture. For reference, I think it was like 83%. Don't quote me on this because it's probably a little bit off. But 83% was the Great Depression, if I'm not mistaken. It's down 100% against Bitcoin. The reason the stock market looks like it's doing well and looks like it's going up is because we're denominating it in a currency that is constantly debasing. You are all being robbed actively. It just is what it is. So dollars are not a way to store your money for the future. It's not a way to store your energy for the future. And that's all money is stored energy. And with a country that's debasing your country, your currency, what they're telling you is the work that you did today that you were trying to store for the future, to secure yourself for the future, you're actually being underpaid in that number, because if you're just saving in dollars in your bank account, you can buy less stuff. At the time that you worked and got that dollar, though, they're saying that your time isn't worth anything in the future. They're stealing from you in the future because you already worked and collected that dollar to store. They're stealing your time. And once you start looking at finance like that, a lot of the stuff that's going on, a lot of the stuff that they're doing, it makes sense. But on the same note, it's like you understand the adjustments that you need to make. Because inflation is a hole in your water bucket that you're storing your saved energy in, or money, if you would, and they're coming to take it. So let's talk about what I've got going on here that's exciting. I'm going to go small again, and we're going to pull up another screen. So the outside of the MicroStrategy making it into the qualifying for the S&P 500 and getting into the Russell 2000, this is a big one for America. FHA explores Bitcoin for mortgage qualification amid housing market challenges. They're actually going to start allowing you, and I'll just quote the part of it that you need to get. The Federal Housing Agency, the FHFA, is exploring the integration of cryptocurrency, particularly Bitcoin, into mortgage qualification process. Now, I found other sources that said that they've already pushed this and they've already gotten the notification that they have to account Bitcoin in your net worth rating. So that's actually something. And I mean, I've been adding it. I qualify it in my net worth. It's just, if you're going to the bank, they don't care. That does not count in your net worth. It's a big deal. It's not going away. Everybody who was saying, oh, yeah, this magic internet money, like, it's real now. The U.S. government has it in their reserves. Multiple other countries have it in their reserves. You have multiple companies going parabolic right now because they're announcing that they're doing Bitcoin treasury strategies. I mean, the space, these tools are not going away. And for 15 years, people have been sitting here being arrogant and egotistical while their dollars that they use, that they believe cash is king, are being debased. So now you can buy less stuff. Like, that's great. I can buy more stuff every year in Bitcoin because everything's going down in value against Bitcoin. Everything gets less expensive in Bitcoin terms and more expensive in dollar terms. The math on that is very simple. It's super easy to understand. But, you know, people don't want to listen. They want to do what they want to do. And so I'm just going to sit here and keep screaming from the rooftops. So Bitcoin's awesome. It's probably something that you should be saving in as a savings vehicle. And it's the savings vehicle that I choose as a preferred savings vehicle, or Bitcoin denominated things. That's why most of the stuff in my portfolios run back to Bitcoin. You'll see me doing, moving forward, I'm going to start adding some new positions because I will be hitting my 2,000 share goal for Misty in my income portfolio this month at some point. And we'll be shifting over to the next position, which may or may not be Bitcoin related. We'll see. But everything else is. So it'll be a handful of things that aren't Bitcoin specific, and most of the stuff being Bitcoin influence. We either make the adjustments or we fall victim to whatever the system has in store for you. My belief is that the system doesn't have anything in store for you that's good. The financial matrix that we're in, as a person who's just navigating it and just getting blown by the wind, that's probably the worst place to be. Because where they want you to end up probably isn't where you want to end up. And retaining agency is kind of an important thing. Anyways, that's going to be it for this episode. We will be back at it again with you next week for another episode of Crypto Portfolio Updates. It's been your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero. We've had another good one. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, because we're not trying to get rich over here by ourselves. So go ahead and formally join the Wolfpack. And don't forget to hit the bell notification and turn all notifications on. For my Wolfpack members, don't forget to share the video. We got to get the message out here so that we can save as many people as possible. Last but not least, this is not financial advice. This is just some dude documenting his journey on the internet. So, as always, and most importantly, do your own research. Don't take anyone's word at face value, including mine. Till next week, people. It's your boy, Reckless Ray Dinero, and I'm out.
Money on my mind, yeah. Focus, got no time for games, nah. I don't blame it, I'm all about that financial literacy. Investing in my future, building generational wealth. Dollar bills, they be calling my name, but I ain't chasing fame, I'm chasing change. Learn the game, now I'm playing it smart. Putting my money to work, it's an art. I'm stacking paper, building my own empire. No more living check to check, I'm getting higher. Investing in stocks, real estate, and more. Gotta secure the bag, that's what I came for.